Article 244A of the Indian Constitution provides a special provision for the creation of an autonomous state within the state of Assam to address the unique needs and aspirations of certain tribal areas. Here's a breakdown of its key points. 1. Formation of an autonomous state, Clause 1. Overriding other provisions. This clause begins by stating that Parliament, through a law, can establish an autonomous state within Assam, regardless of other parts of the constitution. Inclusion of tribal areas. The autonomous state may comprise, either wholly or partially, any of the tribal areas specified in Part 1 of the table under paragraph 20 of the 6th schedule. This primarily concerns the tribal areas in Assam, such as those of the Bodos, Karbis, and others. Creation of legislative and executive bodies. Parliament may establish a legislature, either fully elected or partly elected and partly nominated, for the autonomous state. A council of ministers may also be created to function as the executive body of this state. Both bodies, legislature and council of ministers, may be created as part of this law, with their powers and functions defined by Parliament. 2. Powers of the autonomous state, Clause 2. The law passed by Parliament can give the autonomous state powers in the following areas. Legislative powers. The legislature of the autonomous state may be given the power to make laws on matters from the state list or the concurrent list for the autonomous state or parts of it. This can be done even if it takes power away from the Assam state legislature. Executive powers. The law can define the extent to which the executive powers of the autonomous state shall apply. Revenue powers. The law may allow taxes levied by the state of Assam to be assigned to the autonomous state in proportion to how much revenue comes from within the autonomous state. Interpretation as a state. Any reference to state in other parts of the Constitution can be interpreted as including the autonomous state. Supplemental provisions. The law can include any additional provisions necessary to give effect to the autonomous state's formation and functioning. 3. Amendments to the law, Clause 3. If there is any amendment to this law that affects the autonomous state's legislative or executive powers, mentioned in subclauses A and B of Clause 2, the amendment will only be valid if passed by 2/3 of the members present and voting in both houses of Parliament. 4. Not a constitutional amendment, Clause 4. A law passed under Article 244A, even if it amends or impacts the Constitution, will not be considered a formal constitutional amendment under Article 368. This makes it easier to pass and modify the law, as it doesn't require the rigorous process needed for amending the Constitution itself. Significance. Article 244A was inserted into the Constitution to address the special political and cultural needs of Assam's tribal areas. It allows for more local governance and autonomy by giving these areas their own legislature and council of ministers, while still being part of the state of Assam. The Constitution of India. Part 10. The Scheduled and Tribal Areas. Article 244A. Formation of an autonomous state comprising certain tribal areas in Assam and creation of local legislature or council of ministers or both therefor. 1. Notwithstanding anything in this constitution, Parliament may, by law, form within the state of Assam an autonomous state comprising, whether wholly or in part, all or any of the tribal areas specified in Part 1 of the table appended to paragraph 20 of the 6th schedule and create therefor a body, whether elected or partly nominated and partly elected, to function as a legislature for the autonomous state, or b. a council of ministers or both with such constitution, powers and functions, in each case, as may be specified in the law. 2. Any such law as is referred to in Clause 1 may, in particular, a. Specify the matters enumerated in the state list or the concurrent list with respect to which the legislature of the autonomous state shall have power to make laws for the whole or any part thereof, whether to the exclusion of the legislature of the state of Assam or otherwise. B. Define the matters with respect to which the executive power of the autonomous state shall extend. C. Provide that any tax levied by the state of Assam shall be assigned to the autonomous state in so far as the proceeds thereof are attributable to the autonomous state. D. Provide that any reference to a state in any article of this constitution shall be construed as including a reference to the autonomous state, and E. Make such supplemental, incidental and consequential provisions as may be deemed necessary. 3. An amendment of any such law as aforesaid in so far as such amendment relates to any of the matters specified in subclause A or subclause B of clause 2 shall have no effect unless the amendment is passed in each House of Parliament by not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. 4. Any such law as is referred to in this article shall not be deemed to be an amendment of this Constitution for the purposes of Article 368, notwithstanding that it contains any provision which amends or has the effect of amending this Constitution.